Welcome to episode 2 of the In My Opinion Sports YouTube channel, and football is back, baby. Yes, if you can't tell, I'm super excited with the NFL returning. It started Thursday. We kicked it off with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Houston Texans. Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, 50 mil, 40 mil, a lot of money on the field, and it wasn't the hype that I expected it to be, but it was still a good game overall. The Texans and Chiefs both started off very slowly without a preseason to kind of get their rhythm. Everybody seemed to kind of move at half speed. It picked up in around the second half, and Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes things. A pressure by Tyrann Mathieu had Deshaun Watson throwing the interception, and that was pretty much all she wrote. But the player of the game, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the rookie running back from LSU, 138 yards and a touchdown in his first game. Oh my gosh, that boy is good. That boy is good. He is going to be crazy, I believe, for the rest of the season. I'm just basing off of one game, but with that type of offense, that type of play style that they have, it's going to be very hard to stop them. And, he made a fantasy owner like me who picked him in the first round look really good. But for this video today, there are going to be 4 huge week 1 matchups that we are going to discuss. And I'm going to pick a winner out for each of those 4 games. But first, I got to get dressed myself. It's football season. I got to show y'all what team I'm repping. So without further ado, let me show y'all. Whoa. Nah, this ain't it right here. This ain't... Nah, this is even worse. Alright, last time we gotta get this right. Yeah, that's more like it, man. I know I'm repping Big Blue Baby New York Giants up in here. I don't care about none of these other teams. So now that we're finally dressed for the occasion, and now that I have on the official jersey of football now, let's get into the first game. The first game I will be talking about will be between the Seattle Seahawks and the Atlanta Falcons. Both of these teams have excellent quarterback play with Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan. I don't really have to get into much into those guys. Super Bowls, MVPs, all of that. Now, what I will get into is who they'll be throwing the ball to. Russell Wilson has Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett had over 1,000 yards receiving with 8 touchdowns off of 85 receptions, while DK Metcalf in his rookie season had 900 yards, 7 touchdowns with around 58 receptions. Now, I expect both of those numbers to go up, and I expect both of those guys to be around the 1,100 receiving yard range, because both of these guys are very dynamic receivers who are hard to guard by any quarter or any opposing defense. You can't really scheme for the strength and speed, the athletic freak that DK Metcalf is. And Tyler Lockett, to me, is an underrated route runner with really good hands. Not to mention, you add on Chris Carson, who last year had 1,200 yards rushing. He's a really good running back and a really good system that favors him, especially when Russell Wilson is on the move and he wants to dig it down to his receiver. Chris Carson is always going to be there for it. So that's how I feel about the Seattle Seahawks. The Atlanta Falcons are stacked with Julio Jones, arguably the best receiver in football. Last year put up 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns off of 99 receptions. And the Robin to his Batman, Calvin Ridley, put up 800 yards with 8 touchdowns off of about 67 receptions. Now, the reason why his yards were so low was because a lot of times Julio was the one making off the big runs, but Calvin Ridley was who they would go to in the red zone, because they are covering Julio. Like, they're double teaming Julio, which leaves Calvin Ridley one-on-one with a corner, and 9 times out of 10 he's going to win that battle. With the addition of Todd Gurley jumping from the Rams to Atlanta, you now have at running back. I believe this game will come down to defense. Seattle's defense, they added Jamal Adams and Bruce Irvin. Bruce Irvin is there to take over the role of Jadeveon Clowney. Last year, even though Clowney played well, his stats didn't really show it. His stats showed that, 3 sacks, about 31 tackles, 31 combined tackles, about 14 solo tackles, while Bruce Irvin showed that his stats showed 8.5 sacks, 38 combined tackles, about 25 solo tackles, 16 forced fumbles, no, excuse me, not 16 forced fumbles, 4 forced fumbles, and he hit the quarterback 16 times. That's a lot of pressure on the quarterback. The Seahawks will win this game by a score of 28-23. Next, we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the LA Rams. Now, the Cowboys are a team filled with skilled players, talented skilled players at that, from Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Ezekiel Elliott. They're expecting big things from their tight end, Blake Jarwin, who's replacing Jason Witten. And Dak Prescott is trying to get that money, so he has to show that he's the franchise quarterback that people believe him to be. But the thing about it is, he may not be. Dak Prescott last year against teams with winning record was only 2-8, and one of those wins came against a depleted Eagles team who were missing all of their core receivers, who came back and then beat them to get into the playoffs. So I'm not so sure about the Cowboys. In the words of Stephen A. Smith,
"We are an accident waiting to happen." Say it with me, Max. An accident waiting to happen.
An accident waiting to happen.
I'm just not sure how well things are going to go. Now, he does have a chance because nobody has a winning record yet. So we'll see how things go. But when it comes down to it, I don't trust Dak Prescott against a team that has a good defense and a decent offense. And that's exactly what the Rams have with Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and they're expecting big things from their rookie out of Florida State running back and Cam Akers. The LA Rams to win by a score of 21-17. But certainly not least, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. This is going to be an epic Week 1 matchup. You have Mr. Super Bowl himself, Tom Brady, versus Mr. Record holder, Drew Brees. These two guys are probably going to go down as top 5, in my opinion, top 3 quarterbacks of all time. Tom Brady has so many weapons, from Chris Godwin to Mike Evans to Rob Gronkowski's back. Even though he hasn't played football in a year, I think that Rob Gronkowski is still going to bring that physicality level to the game because he just loves to freaking run people over and hit them. But not only that, you have a finesse receiver in O.J. Howard, who to me is probably a better pass catcher than Rob Gronkowski, and you can line him up in so many different ways. And Tom Brady had his best season when they used that double tight end set back in New England. And I think Bruce Arians is smart enough to know that that's what worked, and he'll probably definitely implement that in some sort of fashion during the season. Estimate Drew Brees can no wrong. During the regular season, he's amazing. Drew Brees can throw for 350 yards in his sleep, and with arguably the #1 receiver in the league with Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, who, even though he's a little older, is still speedy and a great route runner. Not to mention, you add Alvin Kamara onto that with Latavius Murray. These guys are going to be a problem for any team. And they have a pretty good defense as well. I don't think that defense is going to hold up well against Tampa Bay and the firepower that they have, which is why I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think the ending for this game is going to be probably either Tom Brady or Drew Brees marching down the field, getting their team within field goal range, and the field goal kicker comes in, knocks it through the middle, and everybody's celebrating on the field. But with that, the New Orleans Saints are at home for this. So it's tough, but I'm going to go with the Saints. I think it's still going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to say 30-28 Saints. All right, thanks for watching episode 2. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Even if you don't like it, still give it a thumbs up. Just let me know in the comments what everybody is thinking. Time to do the basic YouTuber thing. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, mother, brother, grandmother, sister, husband, whatever you guys have. I really want to grow this channel. I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. I would like for everybody to also comment and tell me what your team is. Even if you're a sorry Cowboys fan, I would still like to hear it. I want to know so that when your team is doing bad or good, I can shout you out. You can come and talk trash to me. Or if your team is doing terrible, I'm going to be on here talking trash right back. But always, it's going to be peace, love, and positivity. Have a blessed day, and stay tuned for episode 3.